Hi, I'm Cow Mash. I'm an artist. I lecture in fiber arts. Yeah, and I go by Cow. And my full names are Kaugelo Mutepa Mashilo. So the Cow really comes from the pronunciation of Kaugelo. When we grew up in Pretoria, it was pronounced by family members Kaugelo, just to like shorten it. My mom would also call me Cow. So obviously she didn't intend for it to be the bovine association, but I ran with it because I've always been, I guess, creative in the mind and escaping into my own universes. So to associate myself with the cow, for me, I thought at the time, you know, cows are mellow and they like graze and they get abducted by aliens. So for me, that was like a comfort of knowing that there's something that my strange can exist in, by spelling it COW, with intention of it creating like a safe space for myself. So my grandmother's name was Muteba, so that's my second name. And yeah, I guess in naming myself Cow, first innocently, but then moving through life with the name and realizing how people's reaction changes for the name, obviously because of the derogative associations that come with the English language. But I thought that it wasn't enough when I think about how the cow is revered and sacred in so many other traditions and religions. So yeah, I thought for me, I'm going to stick with cow for those reasons. And I guess doing my research into my master's studies and finding out about and reconfirming for myself how powerful and sacred the cow is, but also thinking about the negative side being how we can think about the cow's body in comparison to how we think about how women exist in the world. Just in terms of surveillance, in terms of even slaughtering when thinking about gender-based violence. So the cow became a metaphor for thinking about how the Black female body moves through the world, its violences and also its praise. So I think both things exist in this duality. So thinking about that and how female-driven the name starts becoming, I started thinking about how names have an omen over us. We have the saying in Sotho Sepedi saying "Vitso lebe ke seromo," which translates to a bad name is an omen. So I think about names as curses, like when we are given a name or given an assignment, but we could also be given a curse. And I thought about how did I curse myself with the name Cow, and how does that name then take over like how I exist in the world, because I announce myself as that. So yeah, I was thinking about how gendered the name is and how all cow is so gendered. And I guess somewhere within the journey, I started thinking about my second name, Muteba. Let me start by saying Kaugelo means merciful or grace, God's grace, as my parents named me. And then moving on from that, I was thinking about what does Muteba mean? So I was interacting with my grandmother, who the name comes from, and asking her, what does the name mean? So she says it means a girl. So it's an uninitiated maiden, like a young girl. And I guess hearing that made me think, oh my goodness, the gendered curses that I think exist in the cow name also exist in my actual names that I carry. So the name means girl, and then thinking about my full names as like a graceful girl, right? So sometimes I felt like I can't activate my aggression, but because my name curses are to be a graceful girl.